because I didn't have one before, guys. Have fun with that. Welcome, Adelaide.
Hello.
First time in. Yeah, they can hear you, by the way.
Okay.
So they'll hear everything. It's also going to transcribe everything you say. Last time I did this, Teams told me to tell everyone for legal reasons.
Okay.
Which is funny. Okay, so you're just going to have, yep. Do you have paper to write on? Yeah, you're going to practice writing the alphabet as well. I'll go ahead and, yeah, I'll set it on that for now. Should be, yeah, okay, it's good. So yeah, you're going to practice writing the words. We're just practicing the lowercase version. And so first we're going to go over the alphabet, how to write them, and we're also going to go over how to pronounce them. Both the sound and the name of the word, because some of them are kind of weird.
Okay.
Okay. So there's alpha. You start at the top right, swoop down, kind of like you're making it, but there's that top right part. So alpha, and it makes the sound ah in the short version, or it can lengthen to like an A. I don't know. But typically you'll go for ah. Then there is beta. It makes a b sound like a B. Pretty basic, right?
Yeah.
Then there's, it's on the right end. There's gamma, which kind of looks like a Y. It has a little swoop down there. Gamma makes a g sound. And I'll go ahead and grab this for. Okay, it's just like g and gone. Some of these examples are pretty good. So if you want a better example than what I say, I'll have this over here. Okay. So then we get delta, which is basically a D, not in how it looks, but how it sounds. Start up there, swoop around, then form the circle. Delta D, like in dog. Huh? I know the alphabet. Are you trying to guess the alphabet? Be like, I know that. I know the next one.
Well, I know the next one.
What's the next one, Eli? No, I'm joking. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. Beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. Yeah. Epsilon goes like eh. But it can also have a short version and a lengthened version. So like eh to E. Also, I should probably have already mentioned it, but we have 7 vowels in Greek out of 24 letters. I'm going to go ahead and star them as we go along, so you might want to take note of which ones are the vowels. So alpha is a vowel, and epsilon is a vowel. They can see all those. I think they can, yeah. Okay. So now we go to zeta. So this one's where they start getting a little tricky. So you're going to go up here at the top, do swoop, and do like that, though I don't like the bottom side. Let me do a better one. Yeah, a little more swoop in that one, like a little more open, but yeah.
Great.
And it makes a Z sound like Z. It's basically Z. So alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta.
B and C.
I just realized, are they gonna have to flip the camera to read what I'm writing? Oh, not my problem. Sounds like a mess and a half. Okay, and then the next one we have is eta. which looks like a weird N. And it is also a vowel. Yeah. And it makes A. That's it. Like, not like the letter, just A. So think Ada A. Because that's, for the most part, that's the only sound that one makes. It does not shorten or lengthen really as much. It's just a consistent A. And that has messed people up so far
Okay.
on trying to pronounce words. They'd be like, ah. And I'm like, no. A. Always A. Unless it's combined with another vowel, which I'll get to later. So alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, or eta, theta. Yeah. I'm jumping ahead of myself, but I'm skipping around. Makes a TH sound. So
Looks like an Easter egg.
I guess it kind of does. It's literally just a zero though with a line through it. Okay. Theta, iota. Not iota like some people like to do. I'm just stepping up to that. Iota. And that is another vowel. It does I to E. Like an I.
Okay.
It's basically
The eyes and eat and tree.
huh?
The eyes and tree. I think that's the example.
Yeah.
Yeah, the I in intrigue. Yeah.
Like the shorthand one.
Yeah, that's what it says on the cheat sheet.
On your cheat sheet, of course, of course.
I mean, it's wrong.
I know, I know. Now we get to Kappa. I messed that up. Dude. Don't write that down. Okay. So it's kind of like a K. You got to go a bit more strong with the top one. So maybe not that weird looking, but Kappa is basically like a K. Are you shocked at all?
I'm shocked. What noise does it make? Is
K.
it vibration?
Yes. Like the K in kitchen. K.
It doesn't look like it should make that noise
Why?
because of the shape. Right, so I'm just kidding.
No, we'll fix it. Okay. Still doesn't, does it? Okay, well, lambda. This one's a fun one, so you go. And wow, it's basically like an L. Look. Isn't that fun? Okay, now we get to mu, which is like an M. It's literally a U with a line on the left side. Just to give you an idea.
There's the M, there's the E.
Yeah, I made that joke a lot. The and the oo. You're ready to be messed up.
Okay,
Have you looked at the alphabet yet at all?
I have now.
So did you look at the next one? Don't look at it. It is a lowercase b, but it makes the sounds that an N would make,
Okay,
which is the one that trips me up the most because now I look at English V's in English sentences and sometimes I try to pronounce an N. Starting out, you'll probably have the opposite problem, but I overcorrected myself. Huh?
The row is confusing too.
Don't give spoilers. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu. Okay. If you see a pattern, in case you can't remember, K, L, M, N, A, B, D, E. What?
Who's the next one? C?
Think so. I'm saying the alphabet to help myself remember. Yeah. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, z. Yes.
Z?
Z. Can you say that? Z.
Z,
Z.
Z,
Z.
Z.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically an X. And that is kind of the sound an X makes, like axiom. Z. And it's like a zeta, but you add an extra swoop at the top. Yeah. Z. Haven't run into a vowel in a while, have we? Time to end that. Omicron. Ah. But can lengthen to O. But its default is ah. Remember, with most of these vowels, like epsilon, alpha, and omicron, and iota, they default to the short version.
Okay.
So ah, eh, I, ah. And yes, alpha and omicron kind of make the same short sound, ah. So people were complaining about that. It's like, no, it's just it's two different words. It's two different letters. Okay, are you ready for one to mess you up?
Yep. Bring it on.
You recognize this man?
Hi.
No. P.
Okay.
It's P.
P. Why do we pronounce it pi when we're doing math?
Because English changes some things.
Okay, that's good.
Like you'll see later with agape. Takes the same sound, but the ending is this. Also with the word, logos, pathos, and ethos.
Mm-hmm.
Logos, pathos, ethos. English pronouncing it wrong, just because we use an O. But they have basically two O's in this language with different base sounds. As you'll see, omega is like a long O.
Okay.
But yeah, P is basically a P. Big surprise. Now we'll get to the real P, which is rho. And it's just meant to be a P. I kind of messed up a little bit. It's just a lowercase p, basically. And it makes the R sound. Rho. Yeah, that's fun, right? Okay, now we get a little more confusing. Are you ready? Sigma. Okay. There's two different lowercase letters. There's the normal sigma, which is like an O with a pompadour on it.
Okay.
It's not curved up at all. Just,
What did you call that line? An
Mhm.
O with a what on it?
It's like an O with a pompadour.
Oh.
Haircut, where it goes straight
Yeah.
out the front. Yeah. That some people
Okay.
like that joke the first time. I really don't like how I hear that joke. Yeah. They look a lot better on the pages that you'll be looking at. Yeah. That shows up in any part of the word except the last letter. If a sigma is the last letter, it uses the other form called the final sigma, which now you can guess why it's called final sigma because it's the last. If it's the last letter, then it's like a weird F. Both make sounds like an S. So, like in sit. They function the exact same way. You just use a different one if it's at the end of a word. Kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now we move to tau. Maybe too much tau. Let me I keep wanting to write them how, like in a weird way. I don't know. Yeah, we'll just stick with that. It's basically like a T. T. Are you guessing the next? Have you been doing that this whole time and me just not noticing, or do I just catch you when you happen to do it? Do I just so?
It's not really me guessing, just me saying,
Oh, you're just saying it.
wording it.
Dropping it.
Yeah, mouthing it.
Okay. Well, next
Not
is
wording
oopsilon.
Oops.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
it. Towel.
It's like a funky U mixed with a B, I guess, because I don't know.
Can you guess what that one said?
You.
Ooh.
Ooh, as in the German ooh. And the reference is like the U in universe or the double O's in book. Book. Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the sound it makes. Oopsilon. The way we pronounce the words also kind of helps pronounce how they or not the word. I guess the words, but the letter name, which is technically a word, but it's a whole fun
It's like
thing.
a word that uses the letter.
Yeah, that they do that in the lexicon, by the way. If you look in the back, they will use the letter to start off the words.
Okay.
Pretty fun. So now we get to a bunch of double ones like theta. B. Just a PH sound like a phone. Ph. Then we get to key. That's be like line there. Key, just CH, basically. Cut. Now the weird one. C. Try saying that one, please. C. C.
C.
C.
C.
C.
C.
It makes a PS sound. C. So, say the alphabet with me, both of you. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota. Who said iota? Is that you? It's fine. Iota. Kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. Which is like just a curvy W. That's kind of bad, but all the build up just for this. There, that's better. And that's our last vowel.
We only have 6 up there.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering. Where did I miss one? Oh yeah.
Epsilon.
I keep forgetting to mark that one whenever I go through the alphabet. Yeah, upsilon's also a vowel. But yeah. So there's your 7 vowels and there's your 24 letters. If I'm remembering correctly. The number should be 24. How do you feel so far? Feeling pretty good. Okay. Where do I want to go next? Okay, so we'll just remember the vowels. We'll get more in those in a second. I'm going to briefly mention gamma nasal.
Okay.
Weird word, right? So you know gamma over here.
Yeah.
So when you have one followed by a gamma, let's see, a kappa, like Z, or a key, those are a certain type of, you don't have to, this doesn't show up too often. You'll kind of be able to recognize, and I think the only ones that come to mind for me are two gammas. But so when you have two gammas in a word, the first one will make an N sound instead of a G.
Okay.
And I'll give you an example of an early vocab word you will need to know. Angelos, like angel. That's what that means.
Okay.
Angel or messenger. Angelos.
On.
Yeah, it just uses two gammas. So just one of them takes an N sound, and the other one that follows just stays with itself.
Okay.
Gamma nasals. Pretty bad name, I
Yeah.
think. But nerds will be nerds, and they'll come up with whatever names they want. Now, there's two breathing marks you need to remember that go over the first vowel. Well, first vowel, or if there's multiple vowels at the beginning of a word, the farthest one before a consonant. Okay. And they are these. These are two separate ones. This is a smooth breathing mark. And this is a rough breathing mark.
Apostrophe in the back.
Yeah. Most of the time you'll see a smooth breathing mark over the vowel. Like in angelos here. You have a smooth breathing mark that just goes on top of it. That just means it's pronounced like normal. Angelos. But if you see, like, just no changes, smooth breathing. If you see a rough breathing mark, you basically add an H at the beginning, effectively. So it'd be hongelos instead.
Okay.
Pretty easy, right? To kind of get.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get to diphthongs, I'm just going to briefly mention punctuation for fun. Because it's the only thing from chapter 4 I really want to mention. So you have four main ones. You have a comma. It is a comma. Pretty nice, right? A period is a period. With me? With me?
Okay.
A semicolon. Let's say you have a word here. Is that just a period above the line, as the book describes it? A question mark. And this is the last one. Take a wild guess what it is.
Question.
No. Or you mean the symbol, right?
Yeah.
No. A question mark is a semicolon. But a semicolon is a period above the line. Those are the only changes. And sometimes the sometimes you'll see a semicolon or a comma used like with a certain word to start where quotation marks would be, because they don't use quotation marks. But basically you'll see a combination punctuation with a certain word like hati, as you'll see later, which is it's one of your beginning vocab words, so you'll need to know it. It means that, since, or because. Hati. See that rough breathing mark. Ah to E, long iota. That combined with certain punctuation will basically represent quotations. You'll know in context, though, don't worry about too much yet. I just figured to mention it. Now, the last big thing before we go into review of chapter 6, because I think you'll probably get through the English section pretty quickly, is diphthongs. I'm going to erase all of these. So diphthongs are when you combine two vowels. They're sitting right next to each other. And this is the thing I mentioned with this, or they will be a little farther in if there's a diphthong. So it'd be like here, It'd be on the second vowel instead of the first one. Like there's our first example is alpha and iota. It's just when they are sitting next to each other, they make a different sound. So this will make I like an aisle. I almost wrote the Greek there. I like an eye. And I'm not going to continue doing that because it's going to get slows down. Okay. Then we have epsilon iota, which makes A like an 8. Most of these will be pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to lie. We should be fine, but I have to go along. Omicron iota makes oi like an oil. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Alpha upsilon makes ow like in sauerkraut, which I always love because that's a fun example. And probably one of the weirdest ones. Hi, we're doing a review for Adelaide here, and then we'll get into review for chapter 6, basically, and then maybe start chapter 7. Maybe. Okay, then we have Omicron upsilon, which makes ooh like soup. Ooh. Not bad, right? You good so far? You
Yeah.
feel like nothing too bad? Upsilon iota makes we like in sweet. So I added the kind of. Yeah, we like in sweet. Then we have epsilon upsilon or eta upsilon makes ooh like in feud. Yeah. Any questions?
And there is the diaresis.
Yes, there is also the diaresis, which if it's over one of these, just these two little dots, it basically cancels them out and you have to pronounce both the vowels individually. So A-E or A-E probably. You'll know a little better in context. So I'll go over the topic of chapter 6 for you after I close out the video. And then I think as we go through the chapter 6 workbook, you can work along a little bit after I explain. And I'll also have you practice pronouncing the words. So they'll mainly work on the workbook, like actually doing it.
Yeah.
And you'll pronounce all the words. That's, I think, because that's one of the things you kind of need to do. So we're going to